Life has no inherent meaning. What do I mean by this? And like, we're more talking about nihilism here, right? So the idea of nihilism is that life has no meaning. But what does that really mean? They're not sitting there and saying that like things can't have meaning to humans, but the inherent meaning of life, really, there is none. Like, there is no reason for humans to exist. There's no reason for you to be born, nothing like that. You create reason through your own actions. And but if you're able to take the realization that there's no inherent meaning, it makes it seem like your actions don't have as much weight to them as, a lot of people think that they do. What I also sort of mean by that, like, you don't have as much weight, it means, like, for example, if you do something that is like really shitty, like, for example, let's say like you fail out of business, you fail at doing something like that, it doesn't matter, right? Because like there was no point for you to even try that inherently. There was no point for that. Humans inherently never even had to worry about that stuff, and relatively no creature really had to inherently worry about that. The inherent worry of life was always food, water, shelter, and surviving until the next day. And whenever you sit there and think about it like that, it kind of changes the whole aspect of like how you would see life. But even then, there was no actual meaning to doing any of that stuff besides to survive. But to survive, there's really no meaning to that either, because survival is only a thing that your brain tells you you need to do, because your brain would rather see you alive rather than dead, because it wants to also keep existing. Now, honestly, we're going to move on from this point because, I just kind of explained what nihilism is and like my best understanding. People use it as a cope though. Like, I think a lot of people that like have suffered from depression, anxiety, or just on motivation use this as a major cope. That is not the point of nihilism. That was never the point of nihilism. The point of nihilism is to realize the inherent life meaning has no inherent value or anything. Like, there's no like inherent meaning to life, right? So why people use this as a cope, I don't really understand. The main idea of nihilism was that you can technically do whatever you want in life because life had no inherent meaning. Like, for example, like some people think that they're like destined to be rich. There's no truth to that. In the end, there's not a truth to that, right? Like billionaires, rich people, stuff like that, they believe that they should be the top of the food chain. They believe that that was what they were destined to, stuff like that, right? Now, obviously not everybody, but a lot of them do. And that's not really true. And so I think also like a lot of depressed people use this as a cope to not do stuff, not get out of bed, and not even try to help themselves. A lot of people with like low motivation use this as an idea of, well, I there's no point about me doing that because life has no meaning. While life has no meaning in the inherent sense, you should still find meaning in life by the daily things that you do, rather than the fact that life just actually has no meaning. Like that doesn't, that like you, yeah, sure, you realize that a nihilistic view, right? You have the nihilistic view, but that doesn't give you the right to sit there and not do anything. Even if you find no meaning into the action, you should just still do it because you are alive for the first ever time ever, and the only time you'll ever be alive. And so it just kind of makes no sense onto why people use this nihilistic view to try to dodge like real life and stuff. Now, obviously, I don't think this is as common as like I'm like putting it out to be, because it really just isn't as common as I'm putting it out to be. But it does happen. Like, you can see it. Like, some people legitimately just adopt a nihilistic view and act like they should not do anything in their life. And I'll personally sit here and say this right now. I actually had a nihilistic view also for a while. And honestly, for a while, I did use that as a cope. I will personally admit that. I didn't really want to do anything with my life because I thought life had no inherent meaning. But then I eventually realized, and this kind of more goes into absurdicism, sort of, but I more realized, well, if I have no point of living and there's no inherent life meaning, why don't we just try some risky stuff? So like I went out west, I seen most of the world. I'm leaving actually for Iceland tomorrow. And also I've started day trading, which by the way, a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, that's gambling. That's gambling. It's not really gambling. You just need to sit there for like 400 hours and learn, like there's major value into knowledge. You can get so much knowledge nowadays. And I feel like so many people don't take advantage of the knowledge ever. My next point here is, yeah, you should still try. You should try to better yourself. That's like if you really don't believe in nihilism, that's the main inherent meaning of life, is to try and build a legacy, try to be the best person you possibly can, try to be all that stuff. The reality of life and everything is that there is really no correct way to live it. You can live it however you want to. If you want to go and be a bum your whole life, go be a bum, I guess, your whole life. Like, obviously, it's not going to get you very far in life, but if you want to, you can go be a bum. But that's really not a nihilistic view. I feel like a lot of nihilists still do view the world as they need to better themselves. They have stuff that they want to do. Even though they can recognize it, they still do things. And that's the whole point of living and everything, is to do better things and make yourself better, make your society better, make your group better. And obviously the world has moved away from that group idea and everything and more into this, like, we're all the human race. Which, I mean, well, that's a completely different video for a different time, globalism is. But basically the whole idea behind it is that you should try to better the people around you lives. You should try to better your own life. You should try and be the best person you possibly can be. And honestly, on that note and everything, that is the whole point of this. And honestly, I hope you guys all did enjoy this video. I know I don't really post videos as much as I used to. I do need to get back into that. But honestly, that's the reason we're starting to do this. There's going to be an Iceland vlog and everything. I can't wait for that. And then after the Iceland vlog, I'm going to be posting the English vlog and the Ireland vlog. But I'm also going to mass record a bunch of videos tonight. So I hope you all enjoy the videos tonight.